What is up, everybody? Ray and Brennan here with Franchise Tag Fantasy Football, bringing you the recap you need and all of the things that we saw during this slate of games to let you know what you need to be looking for, maybe for your waiver wire, maybe for your team, how everybody did, who's the, turds, who's the studs, those kinds of things. But, Brennan.
Yes, sir.
Looking all comfy on your couch.
Yep. Going through some patella tendon surgery recovery right now. 10 out of 10, don't recommend this.
I'm sorry. Did you just use scientific word lingo at me?
Yeah, patella tendon. That little muscle that holds your kneecap in place. Yeah, I had to get that snipped and clipped and put back together.
Snipped and clipped. And clipped. Hey, speaking of snipped and clipped, I have a question for you, Brennan.
What's up?
After watching today's games and being a Justin Fields owner, I am at just the tippy top of the worry meter here now. I wasn't before, but after today, I am. So I wanted to play a game with you real fast while the listeners are still here. It's going to be gross. I'm going to make it gross.
Okay.
Let's say for the foreseeable future until they figure shit out in Chicago, do you think that Justin Fields is a drop candidate right now?
No, not a drop candidate. He still has name value, but you can't trade him.
Nope.
If you're trading for him, you're trading for pennies. But you definitely are going to hold on and hope that something clicks in that offense because, like he said before, they are robotic. Like, he's not running the ball. He's not doing the things that would made him super effective like he did last year. So, and then granted, the Chiefs have a really good defense, so I can't, fault him for that. But like, he just looks bad. He genuinely looks bad.
Oh my goodness, let me tell you, it didn't look pretty. It hurt my feelings. Now, it didn't matter for like my outcome in this league that I have him in because I played against all of the points that you could imagine. Like, imagine having Devontae tonight blowing up, going nuclear, and it just doesn't matter because I'm still down 60 points. So, I'm going to ask you a slew of questions. I want you to give me the legitimate answer because I agree with you. I don't think he's a drop candidate yet. But boy, is it close. Is it close?
No, it's not. It's more so of like you bench him and hope he picks it up like going forward because the name just holds too much value. But like if it's bad by like week 8, then yeah, he can be dropped.
For the foreseeable future, like I had said before.
Okay.
Justin Fields or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Justin Fields or Jordan Love?
Jordan Love.
Justin Fields or CJ Stroud?
Oh, dude, CJ Stroud looks really, really good, man. I think I'm leaning Stroud right now.
That is disgusting, but you're right.
I mean, like him and Tank Dell are a really nice connection, and so I'll ride the hot hand until it's not hot anymore.
A couple more names just real quick because I think you're really finding out where the baseline is here. I don't think I would go Baker yet. That's still too low. I would still go with Justin Fields. But
I mean, no, the upside for Justin's still there for me over Baker because I could see a Baker imploding soon.
Oh yeah. Let's go rattle off a couple more. Brock Purdy, Justin Fields.
Brock Purdy.
Oh my God. Jimmy Garoppolo, Justin Fields.
That's the line. I think I'm at Fields. I think I'm at Fields. Just it's close, but I think I'd lean Fields. I'd rather not start either of them, but I mean, if you asked me to pick one, I'd pick Fields still.
This is so disgusting, and it hurts me so much, and like it ruins all of my outlooks. But you're right; everything you just said is right. CJ Stroud, how is that not the line?
He's looking really good, man. He's looking really, really good, and I think he should be talked about on our waiver wire pickups for sure.
I was going to bring him up. Also, Jordan Love needs to be on rosters at this point.
He probably is now.
Yeah, I think he needs to be. And I think he's going to be in my starting lineup going forward. All right, so let's talk about the news and notes real fast. We'll cover some big injuries here, and then we'll move into the games and tell you guys what we saw. There's a couple names that I really want to bring up, specifically CJ Stroud, but like I think let's go with the news and notes. Tell me what you saw, Brandon.
So Mike Williams, it's feared there's an ACL tear. It's not 100% confirmed, but he got carted off. I mean, it's looking like he's going to miss some weeks. That's the case, the minimum. He did hold his knee awkwardly. I'm really hoping that's not the case, but it didn't look good for him. So Mike Dubb's time for the Chargers this season could be at the end. I don't know for pickup wise, it'd probably be Josh Palmer because he's the one that kind of filled in after he went down. But I take that with a grain of salt because Keenan went nuclear today.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Keenan went nuclear while throwing a touchdown to Mike Williams. So like
Yes.
that definitely, because I played against both of them, so I know.
I'm sure he had a fun time.
It wasn't a fun day for me. All right, so other news. I think this is really newsworthy because I think he was a trade target for a lot of people right now. He was going to be for me. Gus Edwards in concussion protocol now.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game. I watched most of the game, obviously, 'cause I'm a Colts fan. But yeah, as soon as he left that game, it went downhill for the Ravens. So he is concussion protocol. So depending if he practices this week, if he doesn't practice by, I think the date he has to practice by Thursday, be limited to play. So be on the lookout for that. I wouldn't touch any of the Ravens backfield unless it's Hill, but Hill missed this week, so just be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I don't want any part of the Ravens backfield right now unless it's Gus Edwards, because I mean, I don't trust Justice Hill. I don't, and it sucks because running backs are a real hot commodity right now. So
Yes, they are.
I can see the move to go and get Justice Hill. I can see it in starting him. Why not? But like, I don't like it. I hate it. It's gross. It's disgusting. Derek Carr gonna miss a few weeks with an AC joint sprain.
It looked worse than what it's projected now. It looked like he was going to miss a little more time. Thank God he played on grass. Kudos to that. But yeah, if you have, I mean, Jameis Winston didn't look too bad. He threw the ball to Chris Olave, so if you're a Chris Olave owner, you should be pretty happy because this man's going to air the ball out, and it's going to be 300 yards, 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So for the Saints,
it's going to keep them in a negative game script to keep throwing. But do you know what I really wanted to point out of that game? When I know that we're going to cover this a little bit ago or a little bit later, but like, if you're the Alvin Kamara owner, oh my God,
you're excited.
Oh yeah,
you're super excited.
Yep.
Because that run game is atrocious, and no one's going to get anywhere near touching his workload. So all the Alvin Kamara owners, you paid out because this guy is going to be the alpha of that backfield.
Now, I think it was really noteworthy. And let's say that noteworthy. I want to get to it, but for sure stick around because I think this is the most pertinent part of all of this news. Go ahead and what's the next one here?
Yeah, so I mean, it's Justin Fields. He has a potential concussion. He got hit and he landed awkwardly, and then he was going to go line up for a 2-point conversion, but the kickers came out to go kick, so his teammate had to direct him off the field. He was completely concussed. So I have a very hard time believing that he's not concussed, because if you watch that tape, he had some scrambled brain going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll be very surprised if Fields doesn't have a concussion, or at least is in concussion protocol.
I'm surprised he was allowed back on the field.
Yes, it was crazy. I legitimately was like, how is he back on the field? But I mean, if he plays and you're starting him next week, that's courageous of you, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I think that pretty much does it for the news. The notes are things.
No other big injuries or anything else like that reported. So it's only kind of the big top guys. So
yeah.
You want to start with the games?
We sure should, and I would like to. So, actually, you know what? This is your game. This is it. This is you. This is for you.
This is my game.
The Colts and Ravens game. What did you see in it?
Well, Colts won 22-19. Ravens did everything they could to let us win this game, I will say. When they lost Gus Edwards, they lost their rushing attack. So, and it's Zay Flowers or nobody for the Ravens receiving core besides, and also Mark Andrews, because no one else can catch the ball. It's crazy. It's like Isaiah Likely dropped 2 catchable balls. I will say Rashad Bateman doesn't look good. I don't know if it's his injury or anything else like that, but he does not look good. If you had Lamar, congrats. I mean, he gave you 30 points today, over 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground with over 200 yards passing the air. Zay Flowers didn't really kill you. He had, eight receptions, 48 yards. But Mark Andrews is, 4 receptions, 35 yards. So where you drafted him, you're kind of disappointed. But yes, your bet is looking really good between you and Aaron. I will agree to that. But yeah, on the Colts side of the ball, Zach Moss is still the lead back. He was on the field most of the time. And yes, Ray, you want to read? I'll read you the stat line for you just to make you more upset. 30 carries, 122 yards, 2 receptions, 23 yards, and a touchdown. This man was the reason why we won this game, 100%.
He doesn't look good doing it.
I don't care what he does, what he looks good. He's going to be the lead back until Jonathan Taylor comes back in week 5.
I know he is, and I know that this is valuable touches, and I know that he's probably winning people weeks. I wish I would have put some more fab on him to go grab him, but God, I hate Zach Moss. I hate it. It's all opportunity, really, because there's nobody else there.
No, we cut Deion Jackson this week, and then the back it was Trey Sermon.
Crazy that Trey Sermon isn't getting any burn in this. It's wild to me.
He did. He got like a couple carries, but he just wasn't effective. Zach Moss is the more effective back right now.
You should throw up after saying that. It's so gross.
Because I got a W today, so I'm not gonna be throwing up for a dub.
All right. Well, I think Gardner Minshew also looked pretty good, for what he's doing. And
I will say we do miss Anthony Richardson though, because if Anthony Richardson was in that game, I think we win pretty easily because our offense is way more effective with him out there.
Michael Pittman's going to sneak his way into a high-end receiver too.
I totally agree with that. I think he went under the radars. I think it was people were scared of what Anthony Richardson is going to be, but we will hyper target him because he's our only receiver that we have.
He's a trade target for me right now.
I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
Next game was a stinker. Titans 3 and Browns 27 points. Deshaun Watson, I mean, he looked okay. I mean, 27 completions, 33 attempts for 289 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you picked up Ford, congrats. He had big game for you. 10 carries, 18 yards, but when you have 2 touchdowns, it doesn't matter what you do. And then Amari Cooper, man, what a game for him. 7 receptions, 116 yards and a touchdown. And then Elijah Moore, if you had him in PPR, you're probably not too hurt, but he had that fumble, but 9 receptions, 49 yards. And then Titans side, it's not good. There's just it's not. DeAndre Hopkins was the highest scoring with 3 receptions and 48 yards. So
I know it's early for me to take my victory lap, but let me tell you, I'm getting warmed up.
Who's the victory lap here for you?
On DeAndre Hopkins. I'm getting warmed up, let me tell you. But the big news that I wanted to talk about this game was Derrick Henry. What?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say I don't want to say he's washed. It's 3 games in, and the Browns do have a really, really good defense, but 11 carries for 20 yards is not Derrick Henry like at all. And Tajay Spears is definitely getting more and more involved. So if you are a Derrick Henry owner, I would definitely consider selling high right now, because I think it's going to be more and more involved with Tajay Spears than you realize.
I'm trying to figure out what you could possibly get right now for Derrick Henry that would make his draft capital, or what you spent to get him, or what would help your roster because you spent that. What's going to help you right now? I think you have to stick it out. It has to get better than this. But then it doesn't. And we told you this whole time, we told you the whole time, the Titans offense is going to be putrid. It's going to be god awful. And guess what? Sure as hell is.
Yeah. It's not looking good for Titans over there. So, but any other notable notes you have from this game?
Notable notes? No notable notes for me.
I don't have any others from that either. So move on to the next game. We have the Falcons putting up 6 points compared to the Lions, who put up 20 points. Jahmyr Gibbs was the lead back in this game. Kind of surprising. He had 17 carries for 80 yards. So kudos to him. Jared Goff, you started him. Congrats. I mean, 243 yards, touchdown, and also, a run-in for a touchdown as well on the ground. Amon-Ra did Amon-Ra things. 9 receptions, 102 yards. And Sam Laporta.
That's the name.
That is a dog. 8 receptions, 84 yards, and a touchdown. I think he had like 6 receptions for 60 yards at halftime. It was something crazy like that.
If for whatever reason Sam Laporta is on your waiver wire, just whatever reason, take a look. Take a look, see if he's there. I don't know the numbers right now. I could look it up, but it doesn't matter because I'm sure they should be high.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason he is out there and you're streaming tight ends, I would spend 35 to 40% of my fab to just get this monkey off your back.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think Sam Laporta is gonna be great, but 35%. I think if he's still on waivers after this, I'd spend probably 15 to 20%.
I would get Sam Laporta if I needed him.
Yeah, true. And on the Falcons side of the ball, man, there was just nothing good. Bijan had 10 carries for 33 yards. This is going to be a problem for the Falcons. And I told Ray this earlier. When teams will stack 8 men in the box against the Falcons, they're going to force Desmond Ridder to throw the ball, and Desmond Ridder can't throw the ball. So therefore, it's just not going to be good for them. So I don't know what they're going to do going forward, because I know they want to just run the ball because that's their identity and that they have 2 really good backs. But if you stack the box with 8 guys in it, you're not going to be able to run it. So you have to throw it. And so, I mean, Drake London had 6 targets when you're down by 14, and he had 2 receptions for 31 yards. Kyle Pitts, if you did start him, he didn't kill you, but 5 receptions for 41 yards. I mean, I don't know what to do with this Falcons team. If you have either of those guys besides Bijan and Tyler Algier, I really don't know what you do with them, because this is rough.
I'm at the point right now where Tyler Algier is not startable. He cannot be put in your lineups. He cannot be put out there. You've seen a direct shift to just trying to get Bijan the ball. Until Bijan gets hurt, then Tyler Algier can go in. But right now, what did he have? 4 points this week. He had 5 points or 5 points last week. He's not reliable to be an RB2 on your team right now. You're muted, Brennan.
My apologies on that. Yeah, I think the week 1 hype got everyone excited for Tyler Algier. Like, oh, they're going to work both these guys in. And that's just not the case anymore. I think Bijan is super talented, and they realize that they want to get him the most touches they can. So Tyler Algier, he's definitely someone you hold, though. You don't cut him. You definitely hold on to him because he is super valuable.
Yeah, because if Bijan does go down, then Tyler Algier is going to have 40 carries a goddamn week.
Yeah. But anything else from this game?
No, just God, get rid of Desmond Ridder. He sucks so bad.
Yeah, it's, I don't know what's going to take for them to put in Tyler Heineke, because I think he'll be a viable option for all these guys. But I think it to them being out of the playoffs, that this team's going to be too good where they'll just keep staggering wins. They'll be a 7-9 win team, like I said in the beginning, and they'll, make a push to the playoffs. So, and that's where Desmond Ridder just keeps the job the entire year unless he gets injured. But
yeah.
Next game, your team, who had the comeback, Packers 18, Saints 17. Jordan Love is really good.
He is a lot better than everybody thought he was going to be.
Yes, I agree with that. If you started him, congrats. 26 points. He played really, really well. He was really poised going down, being down 17. He looked like a veteran out there. Running backs were complete duds. You started AJ Dillon. I'm sorry. 11 carries for 33 yards. This dude is awful.
He's not good.
You guys need Aaron Jones back. Romeo Doubs, again, if you started him, congrats. 5 catches, 73 yards, a touchdown. And then Luke Musgrave, kind of interesting. 6 receptions, 49 yards. I mean, not bad from the Packers side of the ball. Those are the middle names.
So I wanted to point out a couple things. One, Romeo Doubs is still on a snap count, a big snap count. He's not on the field as much as you think he is. He's really not. And yes, he's touchdown dependent right now, but I think that's why you're seeing Luke Musgrave get as many targets as he is, because Christian Watson's out, Aaron Jones is out, Romeo Doubs is on a snap count, Jaden Reed can't be on the field the whole time, so Luke Musgrave has to be involved.
Okay.
I would think that this is kind of fool's gold right now. I wouldn't bank on it if you have all of those weapons back, and I would expect Thursday night, there's a reason why they didn't play today. Thursday night, Aaron Jones and Christian Watson will be back in the lineup.
Okay.
I can't imagine that not
I
happening.
think Aaron Jones is And until I actually see him on the field, I won't believe it because that dude's hamstrings are just made out of string cheese, in my opinion.
One last thing I wanted to bring up is Jaden Reed most definitely needs to be on 12-man rosters. He needs to be on a roster.
Okay.
He dropped 2 touchdown passes today. So, rookie.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. For the Saints side of the ball, all the Alvin Kamara owners are jumping for joy right now because this backfield is atrocious. Tony Jones had 8 carries, 31 yards. Kendre Miller had 9 carries, 34 yards. No real receiving work from either. I mean, Tony Jones had 4 receptions for 20 yards, but Alvin Kamara is going to get this backfield back to himself. And I think with Derek Carr going down, Jameis Winston's going to be the guy filling in. Chris Olave did Chris Olave things, 8 receptions for 104 yards. Michael Thomas didn't burn you. He had 6 receptions for 50 yards. I know, Ray, it still hurts when you hear that, but he's still a viable option playing for you in the flex. And if you did somehow start Rashid Shaheed, congrats, you had that one touchdown run for the punt return. And then Jimmy Graham got the end zone today.
Disgusting.
Really
Absolutely
weird.
disgusting.
I saw that. I said, it's a flashback to like 2010, 2009.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
A couple things that I wanted to point out that really stood out to me is when Derek Carr is on the field, and you've saw it the last 3 weeks now, he's going to check down the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, if he can get back and get in sync with Alvin Kamara, oh my Jesus, that's going to be 15 points right there because he's going to touch the ball 8 times in the air.
Yeah. And there'll be design plays for Alvin Kamara too, just because that's how good he is with the ball in his hand. So I agree with that statement. On to the next game. This is a very surprising game, to say the least. Cost me some money here in my parlay. Texans 37, Jags 17. I will just say CJ Stroud is looking like the Rookie of the Year candidate.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is really good. He 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got you 24 points if you did start him on a pinch for whatever reason. Dameon Pierce, he didn't kill you, so congrats for starting him. He got the touchdown with 14 carries and 31 yards. Tank Dell, holy, this kid is good. 5 receptions, 145 yards, and he would have had a second touchdown. He not got stopped at the 1 yard line too. That's why Dameon Pierce got his touchdown. Man, this Texans team can be really scary with that offense. If they just get a defense, they'll be even more scary. But
thinking of offensive line too.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Jags. How worried are you with Trevor Lawrence?
Very,
because he does not look good.
No.
Today he 27 attempts for 40 completion, or 27 completions, 40 attempts, 279 yards, a touchdown, interception. But the stats don't show you. He just did not look good. Travis Etienne, 19 carries for 88 yards. It's still his backfield. Tank Dell is not really getting much work here.
Tank Bigsby,
my apologies. I saw Tank Dell on the other side here. Christian Kirk led the team with receptions, with 4 receptions, 54 yards and a touchdown. And Calvin Ridley is another stinker of a game for 3 receptions and 40 yards. How worried are you with Calvin and Trevor, though?
Pretty worried. But I think there's something I think Trevor Lawrence is hurt.
You think so?
I mean, he has not looked good at all. And to go and take such a regression from what you saw last season, it kind of points to something other than him just not figuring it out. What you saw last season wasn't his athleticism winning out, or he's running the ball 100 yards a game and no one can stop him because they just don't have tape on him. It was him making good decisions and him making the correct reads and making good throws. So for him to have such a regression on those things that he had already built up makes me think that there's got to be something underlying to it.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I mean, this team has just been, you play the Chiefs, which Chiefs have a really good defense, so it's all right, that's just one bad game. Can't hold that against them. But the Texans don't have a good defense, and for you to only put up 17 points, is very worrisome. I mean, I'm still starting Trevor Lawrence. Are you going to start him next week as well? Are you worried? Are you going to try to pivot somewhere else?
I benched Trevor Lawrence this week for Kirk Cousins.
I mean, it's not a bad play because it's a high-scoring game for the Chargers. I mean, it's not terrible. So,
and Houston has just been really not good, but good against quarterbacks for the last
it's really weird
season and a half.
It is very weird.
But that's why I did it. I was like, I'm going to go Kirk Cousins. Why not? This is a 50-point over-under. I want a piece of that.
I agree with that too.
It was was all right.
Yeah, not a bad call from that.
Right.
On to the next game here. If you want to talk about a blowout, because this is the blowouts of all blowouts.
Oh my
Broncos
God.
20, Dolphins 70.
Yeah.
This game was over by the first quarter. It wasn't close at all. Tua had 23 of 26 for 309 yards and 4 touchdowns. You still not a believer, Ray? I'm just
No.
curious.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. No.
All right.
No.
Devon Achane, 18
Yeah.
carries, 203 yards and 2 touchdowns with 4 receptions, 30 yards and 2 touchdowns in the air for 53 points. And then Raheem Mostert, 13 carries, 82 yards and 3 touchdowns with 7 receptions for 60 yards and a touchdown. I think it's the first time ever that 2 players scored over 45 points, 2 running backs on the same team ever in fantasy. So, Tyreek Hill, 9 receptions, 157 yards and a touchdown. And that was basically it for this team. I don't know what the Denver Broncos are going to do because they're bad.
They're very bad. They're not good on any side of the ball. Russell Wilson looks like a hot bag of ass. Well, I don't know what they're doing with their carry count. I don't know why Javonte isn't touching the ball 20-something times a game. I can't figure it out. How did Jerry Jeudy not have the best game out of the receiving options? How was it Marvin Mims?
It's Cortland
How?
Sutton.
Oh, yeah, Cortland Sutton. How? Like, what?
Yeah,
What?
I don't know what's going on over in Denver, but it's not looking good. And Russ probably had the quote of the century with this ending of this game. I want to know I just want to hear or tell you guys what he said. After the game, Russell Wilson said, "It felt like this game kind of got away from us."
Kind of?
Kind of? Yeah.
Kind of?
Yeah, kind of. It's a strong word there, Russ. This
Yeah.
team's so out of touch with reality. It's crazy. I like.
I wonder if he thought it was 7. They had 7 points. I
Yeah,
wonder if he did.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what are you doing with Javonte?
I don't know because I have so many shares of Javonte. I don't know. They're not using him.
Yeah, it's weird. Like this game, I can't hold that against them. When you're down by like 40 points, like you're not running the ball anymore. You're just not. So like it's kind of the fact that he got 8 points. I mean, you're kind of like, cool, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what to do with this Denver team. I don't know. Like Cortland Sutton leads the team in targets, which is crazy. He had 11 targets, 8 receptions, 91 yards and a touchdown with a fumble, which swinged this game completely. Which wasn't the reason why, but it's one of the reasons why they just put up so many points. But yeah, I don't know. Denver's 0-3. They go to Chicago next week, which will be 2 winless teams, and somebody's got to win this game. And I wonder who's going to win it.
Are you starting Justin Fields next week?
Yes, I would start Justin Fields next week against Denver. That's how bad they are.
I don't know if I am.
I mean, someone's got to win. Justin Fields might be concussed, so he might not play next week. Let's be honest here.
Oh yeah, if he doesn't play, then Denver's gonna get their first win. There's no way that it gets better than Justin Fields right now.
Yeah,
that's disgusting. I hate fantasy football sometimes.
Yeah, don't we all? On to the next game. It was a pretty good game. 2 winless teams facing each other. The Chargers 28 and the Vikings 24. We'll start with the Chargers side. Justin Herbert had himself a game here. 400 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns. Keenan Allen had himself a day. So Ray knows what it feels like to face him. He had 20 targets, 18 receptions for 215 yards, and he threw a touchdown to Mike Williams to add more insult to injury, a 50-yard bomb. He put up almost 50 points today.
You don't say.
Yeah, I don't say. Sorry. Mike Dubs, he had himself a game before he got injured. 7 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Josh Palmer, again, he's going to be someone filling in. So he had, 4 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown, which that should have been a pick. That went right through the Vikings defense. I don't know if you saw that play. It was literally in his hands, and it somehow ended up being a touchdown. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Parham is the goal line red zone guy for whatever reason. I'm going to read you the stat. You ready for this? 2 receptions, 4 yards, 2 touchdowns for Donald Parham.
What are we doing here with Josh Kelly? What are we doing with him?
You drop him. I mean, he can't. It's Austin Eckler and nobody in that backfield. Everyone thought that Moore kind of had it figured out, but it's really Austin Eckler's that they need Austin Eckler to have a run game because 11 carries for 12 yards isn't going to do it.
No. And like all the fab that got spent on Josh Kelly and like all of the hopes and dreams that were there from week one because he looked good week one. Where in the hell did that Josh Kelly go? He looked awful.
Yeah.
He looked awful.
And the Vikings are a terrible run defense too. So I was really expecting a big game from him.
Thanks for blowing my DraftKings lineup there, pal. My God.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered because the guy that won it had Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert. Why are you starting those two guys? What are you doing?
Winning $1 million.
You're winning $1 million. What he's doing? He's laughing at my dumb ass.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins had himself a really good game. He's not the reason why this team sucks. I'm over that narrative now. Over 360 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns, a really fatal pick in the end. It was just a bad pass. It just got batted up. Alexander Mattison, I'll read you the stat line, but the stat line doesn't do it any good because he's not good. 20 carries, 93 yards with 5 receptions. He easily fumbled the ball twice, which he's lucky that he wasn't called for fumbles. But Cam Akers is going to eat into that backfield when he gets chances. So all those Alexander Mattison owners, I'd be very weary of what Cam Akers is going to do with that backfield because I think he's going to be a very good change of pace guy. Justin Jefferson did Jefferson things, 7 receptions, 150 yards and a touchdown. Addison had 6 receptions for 52 yards. And your boy TJ Hawkinson had 8 receptions for 78 yards. So he is
just missed a touchdown.
Was just short. So
just short.
Any other comments you have about this game?
No, just that Aaron better have my bet ready and on deck.
Yeah. On to a really stinker of a game. This is kind of a quick one here. Patriots 15, Jets 10. Jets, please, for the love of God, Robert Saleh. Zach Wilson isn't it. You need to figure something out. I don't know what's going on with him and Joe Douglas. If they think that he's the guy, he's not. He's already in the starter for next week, which is just terrible. The highest scoring player for this is Pharaoh Brown for the Patriots. He had 2 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. What are you doing with Garrett Wilson?
You cannot do anything else. You have to hold him and hope that they make a trade for Mike White. That's the best option. That's it.
So
I know it's not going to. I know it's not, but I needed to, damn it. Why did they let him go? Why didn't they just let Zach Wilson go? Let him go.
There's just some things like I saw somebody mention this, like good organizations know when they made a mistake, like with the Trey Lance thing, like they let him go. They're just like, it's not worth holding on to. They need to let Zach Wilson go. You just need to let him go. It's not working. What are you doing with Breece Hall? 12 carries, 18 yards, and 1 reception for 9 yards.
It's crazy because I tried to trade for him last week, and I'm so glad that trade didn't go through. But I don't know because that offense is so putrid. And I get that it was a rainy day. I get that they were playing against New England. I understand these things, but it doesn't matter. Zach Wilson cannot win a game for them. He cannot. He can't be even a game manager. He can't do that. If you can't figure out as an NFL quarterback that your best option is to just hyper target Garrett Wilson, just keep throwing that kid the ball. You will win more games that way. He can't figure that out.
Yeah. On the Patriots side, Zeke had 16 carries for 80 yards, but it's just more of a script game. He was able to figure it out. Ramondre had 19 carries, 59 yards with only 1 reception. So if you started Ramondre, it's kind of a dud game. It's just the Jets have a really good defense at the end of the day. That's a one thing that the Jets do have going for them is the Jets do have a really good defense. So if you do face them, just know that it is what it is. You'll expect some duds. Guys who led the team in targets. Again, Kendrick Bourne is the guy who led the team in targets for the Patriots. 4 receptions, 46 yards. Hunter Henry had a dud game for all those who picked him up, started him. Only 2 receptions for 17 yards. So other than that, I really don't want to talk about this game because it was just a gross game, and it's terrible that Garrett Wilson has to be a part of Zach Wilson as his quarterback.
it makes me want to cry.
It does too. On to another blowout of a game. The Bills 37, the Commanders 3. Josh Allen did Josh Allen things. He looked amazing. I mean, this defense is what really carried them. They had the most points for fantasy wise. I faced them. 4 interceptions, three points allowed. They had 33 points for Buffalo. So you started the Buffalo D. Congrats to you. You're the smartest man alive. Stephon Diggs did Stephon Diggs things with 8 receptions, 111 yards. James Cook is the guy I would still try to target for. He had 15 carries for 98 yards and 2 receptions for 14 yards. He would have had a lot more points in this game. Was actually close, but it wasn't. Sam Howell, let me read you a stat line for you here. 19 for 29, 170 yards, and 4 interceptions.
You ever see somebody fall back to earth after they were up on the sun? Because that's what Sam Howell was. He was looking good. Everybody was like, oh man, they got their franchise quarterback. Well, you see, that's what it looks like when you have realistically a rookie. He's not, but realistically a rookie.
Yeah. Starting
and playing a good defense and just getting hornswoggled all game. There was that one interception he threw, was like a 2-yard pass that got picked off right in his face.
Yeah.
It was a pick 6.
Yeah, it was a rough game for him. I wouldn't hold anything. Terry? I mean, he had six receptions, 41 yards. I mean, nothing you can do about it. It sucks, you know. You just hope that Sam Howell doesn't face the Bills again. You know, you don't have to worry about it. But unfortunately, he faces the Eagles and Dallas Cowboys defense, so it doesn't get any better for him. Yeah, he faces them twice. So
well, I mean, the Cowboys didn't look. Josh Dobbs or Justin Fields?
Justin Fields. I'm not doing this. I don't care. I get it. We'll talk about the game here. It's coming up here shortly. But it's rough. It makes me throw up my mouth a little bit. Panthers 27, Seattle 37. Andy Dalton had himself a game here, folks. I mean, they only lost, but 34 for 361 yards and 2 touchdowns. He made this team a viable option for fantasy if Bryce Young is out next week.
I think, this is just my personal opinion, I think Bryce Young needs to be sat for the rest of the season and just sit behind Andy Dalton. Just sit behind him.
You can't do that. You gave him so much draft capital. You can't do that. The only way you learn is by playing. I agree with that statement, but you gave up so much. The kid just had a rough 2 outings.
Was it 2?
It's 2. It was 2. It was 2 because he got injured against the Saints. That was the second game. So, yeah, Miles Sanders, you started him. Congrats. I mean, he got you 17 points. Adam Thielen, 11 receptions, 145 yards, and a touchdown. If Andy Dalton's playing next week, are you starting him in your lineup?
Yes.
All right.
100% yes.
All right.
Again, just remember, we were like, hey, and Adam Thielen's going to be just fine. And here he is, just being fine.
Yeah. Seattle side of the ball, Geno Smith. I mean, the game was, it's a really wonky game. He had an okay game, almost threw 300 yards and a touchdown, had an interception. But Kenneth Walker, man, this kid is just good. This kid, I'm not worried about Zach Charbonnet anymore. 18 carries, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 receptions for 59 yards. Any thoughts on the Seattle side of the ball here?
You're not going to be able to trade for Ken Walker now. That ship has sailed. You can't get him now. DK looked good.
He did 6 receptions for 112 yards. Yeah. He's the lead guy in that back. Jackson Smith-Njigba only had one catch for 10 yards. I think, again, it's one of those things. They're just slowly getting him acclimated to the game because DK is going to be the guy for the targets there. And Tyler Lockett is still playing at a high level. So they don't really need JSN to be stepping up to this role. But I do see it happening sometime by like week 9.
He's definitely a hold for me right now. Just hold on. And if you can't hold on to him, I would try and package a trade. Do not cut him. You can get something for him because somebody else can hold him.
Yeah.
Try and get something for him, but definitely not a cut.
Yeah. And then the most upset game of the week, Cowboys 16, Cardinals 28. Where do you want to start with this one?
Is how did they lose this game? I watched the whole game and I don't know how they lost this game. James Conner is going to be an RB1, guaranteed.
Yeah, 14 carries, 98 yards, and a touchdown will do that for you. Hollywood Brown didn't look bad.
No.
5 for 61 and a touchdown. This team is playing like they want to win every game. It's kind of crazy.
Winning despite the losing. Josh Dobbs looked good. He looked really good.
Yeah.
He was 17 for 21. He had 189 yards and a touchdown. And then he added another 55 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
On
I don't
6
know what
carries.
It was. Dallas I think they were expecting to blow them out of the water, and the Cardinals they just kept their foot on the gas the entire time because Dak played mediocre at best. Tony Pollard didn't kill you at 23 carries and 122 yards. CeeDee Lamb gave you kind of a stinker. He had 4 for 53. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think this is one of those games for the Cowboys is just like you chalk it up, call it a day, and move on. But they were looking like the best team in the NFL, but they just came back down to reality really quick.
It's funny because I feel like Dallas always does that every season where they just
do.
smack the shit out of somebody and then all of a sudden just dud.
Yes,
dud.
I agree. On to the next game here. Bears 10, Chiefs 41. Mahomes had a Mahomes game. He could have probably set the record if he wanted to, but it took him out in the third quarter. He had 270 yards for 3 touchdowns. Jerick McKinnon had 2 of those touchdowns. Isaiah Pacheco had a touchdown on the ground. Rashee Rice was stopped twice in the goal line for both of his catches, so he could have 2 touchdown catches there. And then Travis Kelce, well, if I had known that, his girlfriend Taylor Swift at the game, I would have started him in all my DraftKings lineup because he had 7 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. So great game for all the Chiefs players. Bears side, it's bad.
I don't want to talk about the Bears. I don't want to do it.
Justin Fields just looked awful. He had 11 for 22 for 99 yards, and he carried the ball 11 times for 47 yards, but it was just so out of hand. It didn't matter. Like the game script of what they were doing, it just didn't look good. Roschon Johnson led this team in carries, so I think he's going to start having that backfield to himself. DJ Moore dropped a few bombs that were right in his hand. Yeah, it's not looking good for Bears. I think Caleb Williams is actually a real chance for them.
That's so wild to me. So wild. But I get it. I don't know what you do with Justin Fields right now other than sit him on your bench because I don't think he plays this week. I think he is. I think you're right. He is in concussion protocol. There's no way he's not. He was dazed. That'd be crazy if he wasn't.
Yeah.
If he was playing, are you playing him against Denver?
If I had other options, if I had guys like Geno Smith, now I'm going to start Geno Smith over Fields.
You probably don't.
I don't. I think I'd start Russell Wilson over Justin Fields.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot.
I think I could do that. Actually, it's crazy. That sounds. I'm not. It's weird as that is. I could start Russell Wilson.
That's disgusting. That's the most disgusting thing to ever be said on this channel. Look, we already talked about who we start over him right now. Even against Denver, that just let 70 points get scored on their defense, I'm still kind of out right now on Justin Fields starting in your lineup until things get figured out, because they do not look good. He does not look good. He looks uncomfortable and afraid to make mistakes. But he's making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I agree. He's making quite a few of them. Last game just happened. Steelers 23, Raiders 18. Steelers, man, I'll start with the Steelers side. Kenny Pickett doesn't look like the franchise quarterback. He's playing okay. That backfield should be Jalen Warren's.
Yes.
Najee Harris is slow. He had 19 carries. Najee Harris had 19 carries, 65 yards, compared to Jalen Warren's for 8 carries and 29 yards, and a couple receptions here and there. But George Pickens, if you started him, he had 4 receptions for 75 yards. Pat Freiermuth, if you did keep him in your lineups, he finally got the touchdown today, so kudos to him. Raiders side of the ball, Jimmy G, for whatever reason, if you did start him in a super flex league, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, couple interceptions here. What are you doing with Josh Jacobs?
You got to keep rolling him out there because of his position on your team.
Yeah.
There's no way that you have somebody better to put in your lineup. But if you did, let's play the game of Kyren Williams or Josh Jacobs right now. I might go Kyren Williams.
Kyren Williams.
James Conner or Josh Jacobs. I'm probably going James Conner.
James Cook.
Oh yeah, James. Oh yeah. James Cook over Josh Jacobs.
Okay, I have one name, and I think I might find the line here. Isaiah Pacheco.
I knew you were gonna say. I knew you were gonna say Isaiah Pacheco. No, I'm starting Josh Jacobs over him.
Okay, all right. Devontae Adams had a great game, 13 receptions, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jacoby Myers, again, if you started him after the concussion, didn't kill you. 7 receptions for 85 yards. But yeah, that's all I have for these games.
That's it. That's all of it. That's the whole show. Is that nothing else?
Nothing else.
All right, guys. Well, look, I know that it seems like I'm in the dumps here. It's because I had to play against 175 points against me today. So it's a little raw. Still feels a little sore on the inside, let me tell you. But if you guys could, please hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. Let us know what you guys thought. If you guys want us to cover someone specific or something like that, put that in the comments. We'll talk about it on the show. You know, it's only a few of you guys, you know, so we'll cover it. What do you say, huh? But until next time, guys, we will see you later.